All right, so I'm going to assume I'm not the only person in this room that can't find many man-humans they'd seriously consider as a solid choice. As a disclaimer, I've been with my queer male-identified partner for over 18 years. I was 17, and he stole me from his roommate. He had this amazing intuition that I was underwhelmed by misogyny, and he literally made me an offer. It went something like, I know this shit is going to sound crazy, but you could leave behind your violent past, reinvent your identity. I will care for you until the day you die and help support your dreams. If you'll grow through life with me, go on outdoor adventures, and help share the expenses of living. To which I obviously replied, are you serious? I'm 17. But then I thought, his apartment is pretty rad. I can't seem to figure him out, so mystery. Plus, I really dig a dude who will rock a purple velvet shirt and wicked eyeliner. Also, he's 21, so alcohol. I feel my priorities at the time were totally in order. Yeah, I'm in. Let's do the life thing. And as openly polyfidelitous queers, we explore emotionally rich relationships to a variety of people, so I'm always open to affirming connections. Somehow nearly all of them are every spectrum of woman. I asked one of these amazing women once why we keep trying with the man thing, and she said, well, because we've already mastered the rest of the universe. No argument there. So we talk about the wage gap, which I have no doubt has a direct link to the basic human decency gap we're experiencing. I can't help but think women since the dawn of civilization have been rolling their third eyes around inside their head so hard it makes the other two eyes roll. It's no wonder so many women struggle with their sense of worth, right? I mean, we're paid less, taxed more, and the best we can hope for from a male partner seems to be, he actually hears me sometimes. Because I skipped dating, I didn't get these experiences until my career led me into the wider world of men. 2016 is the year I named the Bliss and Blunders of Mr. Ogynist. I kept collecting stories of men like birds on a sock. Between the men who have said, you could be beautiful if you didn't do that to yourself, referring to my hair, or the guy who asked if I was bisexual and said it was okay if I wasn't because he donated his sperm to lesbians and I could still have his baby. Lucky me. Or the time I was at a conference and some guy I'd known for an hour told me he follows me on social media, made it his mission to be my friend that weekend, ordered me a PBR I never wanted, ate my sandwich off my plate before I ever touched it, told me I was his soulmate, and didn't understand why I wouldn't let him come up to my room, and then left me with a tab. Right? Yeah, okay. Or the guy who told me to just receive like a woman should. It's left me wondering, if it's this bad for me as an old married lady, how fucking bad is it out there for all of you? Because holy shit, y'all, I'm grateful my partner told me I was never a bitch to the right people. It feels like a free pass of boundaries that led me to the mantra, I submit to men when they submit to me. I started with a tone more like my inner dialogue. Are you fucking serious? What planet are you from that you think talking to me like I don't have a brain is going to earn you any favors? But I learned men don't listen to women anyway, so they can't hear you when you're mean to them. They need a gentle coaxing. I'm a strategist. Why not make this endeavor something we both gain from? They get a lesson, I get to preserve my space and show these boys what it means to fight like a girl. So, if you ever want to make a man feel really uncomfortable for hitting on you, all you have to say is, oh, thank you so much. Ever since transitioning, I felt really self-conscious about my body. Shuts them right up. I also began employing, really? You want to talk about misogyny? I love this topic. Would you like to grab a seat over there? AKA how I learned the art of humiliation and that the positive purpose of humiliating someone is to humble them. Sometimes, though, the lesson isn't a random person you can walk away from. They're embedded in your circle, or superficially feminist, just don't fully understand the complexity of isms. Explaining it potentially puts you in the line of fire of man feels. The time I coined the phrase Mr. Ogynist was to protect the identity of someone I love, but allowed me to discuss the experience to ensure I wasn't stuck on stupid myself, because of course I blame me first. My first thought when I saw the subconscious behaviors was, oh no, not you. Anyone but you. This guy was smart, kind, funny, gentle, dedicated to rewriting his consciousness with better ideas, all the qualities that make a man perfect. But you learn a lot from out loud voices, and he didn't know I was trained to observe the microaggressions in speech and behavior that point to white male supremacy culture. While trying to explain to me how much he believed in equality for all people, he simultaneously negated the female, black, and queer narratives in favor of his own heteronormative white male perspective, therefore engaging the very isms he professed hating. I was so dumbfounded by the contradiction between thoughts and actions that I tried to explain. He was essentially saying, I believe all people are equal, but if you attempt to tell me how you're not, I will tell you why you're wrong, and therefore dehumanize you while you attempt to humanize yourself. After a year of this, I now understand why we're all really fucking tired of trying to educate white men on what they don't know simply because empathy has been socialized out of them. This is how patriarchy fucked everyone. We ended up with a world where men get together and engage in the objectification of other people, and all of those other people get together to express the experience of being collectively objectified. But most white men will never hear it. I'm trained in empathy facilitation. I knew if Mr. Ogynist understood where he failed, he'd change because he strives for humility, which made him one of the good ones. I learned the hardest part of empathy work, though, finding their heart amidst their bullshit while connecting them to it without losing a grip on your own. Keeping our hearts and knowing our worth can actually help others find theirs. The art of ending oppression is not about liberating us, but liberating them too. I so badly wanted to hurt him with the same behaviors I saw him employing, and at times I did. But he fought in himself to be a better person and change his mind. I fought in myself to have compassion for someone who never had a reason to understand privilege. In the end, we still parted ways. Which leads me back to our batshit crazy world. Mr. Ogynist is just a symptom of a society trained to devalue us. How much longer until these dinosaur monkeys die off anyway? I think we can agree we're not headed towards a mass awakening where women are suddenly worth the whole fucking dollar. It's so funny to me that men don't understand awareness of the glass ceiling makes us fight harder to break it. They don't get that giving us agency over our body means they would actually benefit from better sex. That being with a woman who knows what she's worth and demands respect actually means they're worth the effort. Or that treating us as capable humans would result in kindness and connection instead of resting bitch face. But no, we still have to explain all this, from our personal lives into the heads of our government, and we're called bitches for doing so. And I'm gonna call some bullshit on that. We all should. Knowing our worth isn't a bad thing, and the fact that they try to beat that shit out of us is just strength training for our collective soul. They're increasing our value with every harassment. Every insult degrades them and makes us more resilient. Our worth rises every time we realize we don't have to take this shit, but we also don't have to give it back to them. We can have a sense of humor and tickle them in their egos, taunt them in sexual insecurities they didn't know they had. We can kindly and playfully hit them where it actually hurts, their pride, by being proud ourselves. And all these blisses and blunders, the lesson I learned is when you know your worth, someone will happily pay the price of admission. And if they don't, why should they get tickets to the show?
All right.